up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Who is it?
Reyk. I mean, that's okay. It's not the optimal position to see what I'm going to say to you. But it's good, because you're coming in, mentally here. Place. Oh, wow. Good dog. Wow. I am impressed. Reyk. Break. Wow. Nice job. Flawless. Good boy. Now it's just to get the mechanics of me saying his name, him saying yes, and then directing him. That's what we need in the game. That's good. Everything's very sexual with our friend here, But I have to say, he's not the most inappropriate dog I've ever met. He's very into it, but he holds. He hasn't mounted anybody yet, let's say that. I haven't seen him hop. I don't know if he knows what to do. He just sits there and chatters his teeth and puts his nose in there, and then she's going to snap at him. She's not snapping at him because I'm here. She would have already done it. When he pokes his wet nose in her little lady area and starts licking it, most of the dogs come back with their mouths. And that's natural for a lady to say, don't touch me there. I do it for her. Okay, good. And I just let him know, so he shouldn't go back to that now. Another way to do that is to say no, and then if he goes back, then correct. It's very clear, I went down with my snapped finger and all that. He drooled all over her. Now let's just see if he leaves that little spot on Sparkle alone, which is her rear end, where her goodies are. It's a resource, folks. I'm saying don't touch that. And I'm coming through the context is because it's mine, right? So that's how I'm treating him. I'm saying, don't touch my thing back there. You know what I mean? Like another dog would. So that one I just touched him. These are not techniques that you are going to be doing at home with him or anything. This is just me. I just touched him on the shoulder there. Okay, gave a little tap. The number's real light on here. It's a 5. It's real light. Good. That's love it. I love how he checked out from that for a second and really was looking into me. And then that's good. So for me, let me tell you, I don't really care if he goes up and sniffs her, right? But it gives me an opportunity. It's not good anyway, because it will lead to something bad. She will correct him. But it gives me an opportunity to keep showing him the mechanics of what it looks like when I disagree with something, and when he tests the boundaries, what happens, and how serious I am, and learns more about me and my corrective style and the tools. Okay, this is fine. I let that go. It was less sexual and more curious at first. So, and once he got to the rear end, you watch him correct himself. Good. So a dog needs to learn to be corrected, and that's what I'm teaching him. And so me saying good immediately afterwards is why he's going back at it. But again, if I want to shut that down, it's no problem. I give him something heavier and it's shut down. But by him going back, initially, it gives me more opportunities to keep disagreeing, to keep showing him what it looks like, what it feels like on the e-collar, and what the appropriate response is after a correction. That's the most important part. After you get corrected, he comes over to me, he hangs out with me, wags his tail, then he goes back out. It's fine, it's good for the beginning to teach this stuff. Good boy. Okay. All right, because remember, Sparkle is just a trigger right now. It's just something he wants that I'm disagreeing with. In the future, it could be something else. It could be a toy, food, people, dogs, squirrels. It is a thing that the dog wants and wants to move forward to that I disagree with. Now what do we do? That's the mechanics. That's the conversation he's learning to have. And it's just going to be a different trigger, right? It could be a dog, it could be a different location, different thing that he wants to go towards. Same conversation. Same mechanics, right? Good. Let's see. I really enjoy his choices. He's been very good. You like to play? What's this? Get. Good boy. Very nice. Very good little boy. He's a year and a half. He's kind of like a puppy in the mind still, you know, so it's kind of a treat to have him that young. Nice work, bud. This is good. Every situation's new for him, so it's really fun for me, you know. Go for it. I didn't do anything there, you know, I'm just letting him make choices right now. Okay, so let's try something. We've had a little break from our command training. We'll go back to that. Reyk. That's good. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me tell you, you're a good boy. Reyk. Place. Nice. Yes. I turned pressure on that time. And turn on again. Yeah. It's good. That's okay. Doesn't want to. Good boy. But what I really enjoyed was how good you did when I sent him over. He was instantly over here, smelled the bed, didn't want to get on it, then got off, put his mouth on a ball. They know how to do it without making it look like they're doing it, right? They know how to, like, you ever see a dog where they're in trouble and they kind of like just start sniffing the ground? Like, then you see them look at you real quick, but then they're like, I'm sniffing, or I'm doing this, or they're trying to get you off their back, right? You know, casually not pay attention. So then the e-collar just turns on and I just stand here. And about the fourth time in, that's when you see in the body language, the numbers went up. Because he was starting to fuck with the numbers, is not respect them, right? He was like, okay, so then I just did a healthy little dial up, probably went up like 10 digits, and then he went right on and laid down. That tells me that he knew what to do the whole time, and once the consequences became high enough, he says, okay, because he knows how to turn it off just by doing what I say, and there's no consequences, and he's a good boy, and pat on the head. So then he does. This is totally normal for a dog to push the boundaries a little bit. He's not fully educated either yet, so he's going to make mistakes. And it's my job to identify when he's making a mistake honestly and when he's fucking with me. You know what I mean? When he's testing that boundary, what we call attitude. When I see that in there, even if it's subtle, the numbers start to go up a little bit. It trains the mind to don't let yourself go into those moments where you're trying to be pushy. I suppose I'm trying to think of different words because we've been saying the same words for a long time. But yeah, as soon as the dog starts to push back and there's a little attitude, that's when the corrections get heavier. If the dog's making honest mistakes, then there's not going to be punishment at all. I was hearing when he wasn't on place. So when we were playing, what we were doing in the past few sessions is play. Squeaky toys, dogs are going, and then maybe there's a knock on the door, everybody quiets down, he goes on plays, everything's quiet, we release them, they play again. We did that pattern. Now what's cool to add to that is having him on place. Because he made a few mistakes, he actually did get a punishment, so he's on place. So in his head, I'm not supposed to get off. So I'm going to take advantage of that by getting the room excited without him being allowed for the very first time, and see what he does. And he's here 8 weeks, so we're taking it gradually. I'm going to go get some sparkles. Oh, no, I'm not. Place. Good boy. Now he's using me as a reference of what he should be doing, but the way he's using me, he will get better at it. He got corrected and he kept his head low. But I seen him, I don't know if you can see it, but he'd give me glances to catch a piece of information. He'd glance at me and see like my finger pointing that way, and he'd kind of start to head that way, and he'd kind of glance up at me again and like start to down and then glance up. You know, he's just giving me glances, which is good, but it would be nice if he just went, boom, looked at me, looked at where I was pointing, looked at the thing. Even if you want to look back at me for me to confirm it, that's fine. But right now he's down here with his head, and he's just giving me little glances. It's normal. A lot of dogs, when they come in, they're down here with their vision. Like, they're right at your ankles and they're down here, or they're right here and they're directly looking up at you. The rest of the time, they're just kind of down here. I like a dog to stop, look up, take the direction, But that takes a dog to not panic, to calm down, to take a second, take a deep breath. I'm not asking you to do it right away. I just, just give me effort and do it sometime within the next couple of seconds. Next second, If I say play, she can look up at me and then get the information and go. So what's going to happen is you're going to see him start to do that. He's going to start to take his time to get the information, get on, realize he did the right thing. Good. Good. So right there was an important moment because the thing that got him to get off was the squeaky toy. He's seen it, thinks about it, I kick it, he looks at it, stops, looks at me, good boy. That's me starting to say that's the right move. You see the thing you want, you don't act on impulse, instead you look at me for the information. My information in this moment is saying, good job for looking for the information. You see what I would like. And what I just told him is I like you not going after it, unless I released you off the bed. So again, this squeaky thing is a trigger. It's one of the triggers, it's something that he wants. Something he wants to go interact with. This is teaching him the mechanics of the place that when you have the impulse to get off before you've been released, don't do it, that's the rules. Or the pressure turns on until you get back on. So now he understands there's a consequence for breaking prematurely. This squeaky toy could be, later on, could be a guest at the door. We'll probably switch it to some real life stuff. It becomes easy really quick. Alright? Because he tasted it, because he went and tried it. There it is. You see it all in the eyes. He's glitching almost. Good. Good, but he's with me. Good. Yeah, good job. And so that's why the pet matters,
He likes that praise.
Yeah, but he didn't give a fuck when he came in about praise, though. Yeah. So now he cares about praise, which is what we work hard for. We want a dog who you pet them, they feel it. They feel relief that they did it right and they feel proud. Good. And therefore, it's more memorable, meaningful, and it sticks in. So we're not doing, I'm not here in 3 weeks still working on plays, We're working on it. You see? So like we talked about in yesterday's video with the pity, those movements, those 0 to 60 movements, that's him lunging, that's him barking, that's him doing all the things that everybody complains about, jumping, I guess. That is all of it at once. You just see him stop himself right before it happens. And again, the squeaky thing's a trigger. It could be any trigger, any number of triggers. Person, dog, cat, squirrel, leaf, anything. It's just an easy way, a reliable way to trigger that impulse to start telling him, be self-aware. When you feel that, regulate it. And don't act an impulse. And when he looks at me, he gets a good boy, which is meaningful. So we're shaping the way he responds, okay? Now, he's done good. I'm not going to push him any further. He's got the concept started. I'm going to let that soak for a second. Rep. Break. Go. Wow. Very nice. Like I said, these go against everything in his genetics and most dogs to hear a squeaky sound that's supposed to replicate a dying little animal and not go for it when you see it. It just goes against everything in him. But that's why we do state of mind training, teach them to live in a different space. Don't be so close to that flick of the switch to prey drive, fight and flight, right? I want you to lean back more into a calm space where you can watch things happen. Not be so ready to interact with everything, right? So you see it. Sparky's enjoying herself today. She's being a good girl today too, have you noticed? She's not good today? I sent him away from me. Sparky. No, yeah, toy. Where's that toy that's making all this? See right there? This is a very magical moment right here. He's not allowed to come up to me, which I'm his guy. I'm doing this with another dog. What do I do with myself? Right there is where we need to work. What do you do with yourself? Now watch this. break. Now you can come back over. And this is the same thing as when we're talking to guests and stuff. This is just it's a little bit easier, I think, than people coming in. Shh. That's good. When he starts to feel certain emotions, he's either going to make a mistake again or remember what happened in regular. You see he's not doing what he did last time? He's looking at other things, but it's not because he doesn't want to, it's because he just has an experience that informs him what happens if he does do that. So the choice, that behavioral choice is less valuable to him now. Good. Yeah. You're good. Nice work. Remember, we're working with a very flinchy dog. He's looking a lot better, but he's got a lot of that. And that, to me, is the most dangerous thing about him, is that flinchiness, right? That's good. I have to teach him what to do with that. Baby, good dog. Yes. You see that flinch right there? That's a bite. If his mind was somewhere else, right? His mind's not, we're not in a confrontation, right? If we were in a confrontation, it's different. Like, you know, a real confrontation. Good. That's nice. Nice. You see the look? You see the looks though? Because, let me take that back while not being in a competition. You kind of are. It's just not a heavy one. I've told him not to come into my personal space. What's happening? And he tried to, and I just kept my hand there. Right? Right? He doesn't want to fight though, so that's good.